All right. I wanted to make sure that you were understanding how to do this. It is pretty similar. I think I pulled up. Yeah, it's pretty similar to the 6162, except in 61, we dealt with some AMUs. This is all just going back and forth from moles to, I'm going to write particles. Particles means like it could be atoms, it could be molecules, it could be ions. We've not seen that yet, but I have seen that before. But basically, 1 mole is 6.022 times 10 to the 23rd. Now, we keep looking at this as an equation, but a student today said something that was pretty good, I thought. He put a mole is not an equation. A mole, 6.022 times 10 to the 23rd is a unit of how many atoms make up a mole. And so I don't know, it made sense and it kind of clicked for him. So maybe think of it that way. I mean, 1 mole is, and this is how he said it, 1 mole is 6.022 times 10 to the 23rd, and I'm like, yes. So knowing that, yeah, these are worded a little bit differently, but it's the same thing here. Molecules of lithium carbonate, and I have 2.75 moles. So here's the big, here's the big thing, is I'm starting with moles, and I need to get to particles. So, for instance, and I kind of helped them on some of these. So if moles are there, to know if I'm going to have to multiply or divide, I'm going to put moles here because I need those 2 to cancel out. And I'm going to put MC for molecules there. So now 1 mole is 6.022 times 10 to the 23rd. So this tells you that you're going to be multiplying 2.75 times 6.022 times 10 to the 23rd. All right, so number 2 is similar, only this time they want moles of lithium carbonate and they give you molecules. So it's a one-step problem. I'm going from particles to moles. I'm going backwards. Number 1, I went from moles to particles. This one I'm just doing the opposite. So once again, if you were to set this up, you have this number here. If I do my parentheses, molecules on bottom, so they can cancel out, put my moles on top. Okay, but it's always, anytime we're going from moles to molecules or moles to atoms, it's always going to be a 1 mole, and then the other part's going to be 6.022 times 10 to the 23rd. Number 3, this is where we start to see, oh, we might get some 2-step problems. And I want you to be aware of how it's different from the previous 2. It says how many moles of oxygen, so I want just oxygen, are in 8.42 times 10 to the 24th lithium carbonate. Now here I'm going to go over this with you. Lithium, this kind of walks through a little bit of chapter 5. Lithium has a +1 charge. Carbonate is on that special sheet. It has a -2. So it's crisscrossing these numbers. It is Li2CO3. So you can see where up above on number 2, I asked for moles of lithium carbonate out of that many molecules of lithium carbonate. Well, here I want a piece. I don't want moles of lithium carbonate. I want moles of just oxygen. So I have to first be like, okay, well, if I'm starting off with 8.42 times 10 to the 24th molecules, well, how many moles of lithium carbonate is that? Okay, so that's my first step. How many moles of lithium carbonate is that going to be? Okay, so I'm going to write this down. MC. I'm going to put LiCO3 so you guys know exactly what I'm doing here. So here I'm going to put molecules, and that's of lithium carbonate. And I have to get to moles of lithium carbonate. The only time I can switch from an entire substance and get just a piece of it, I have to get into moles first. So that's what I'm doing here. So 1 mole, that's 6.022 times 10 to the 23rd. All right, so these cancel out. Now right now, if I were to quit, my problem would give me how many moles of lithium carbonate I have. That's not what they asked. They asked for moles of just oxygen. So I'm telling you that normally, using this equation here, this tells me that 1 mole of lithium carbonate equals, and I want oxygen, equals 3 moles of oxygen. the second step, I'm going to put moles of lithium carbonate on bottom so it can cancel out their division. And what I want to be left with is moles of oxygen. Now there are 3 moles of oxygen in one of these things right here. All right, so what I would end up doing is 8.42 times 10 to the 24th divided by 6.022 times 10 to the 23rd multiplied by 3. Okay, so that's how you would set that up. Now, a majority of these, and maybe the rest from here on out, are 2-step problems. Because if you look, it's moles of, oh, we want just nitrogen out of this. So I need a piece. Oh, I need molecules of tin nitrate, but look, I only have a piece. I just have oxygen. I want moles of aluminum sulfate, but I just have sulfur atoms. So it's whenever you have a piece of something, you're going to have to do, or you're wanting a piece of something, you're going to have to do 2 steps. So the rest of these are all 2-step problems. Now the big thing here is like, okay, well, you know, whatever you start with, like here moles. So if I start with moles, then moles is going to go on bottom here, and I do my mole to mole step first in this scenario on number 4. Okay. Let me go over some of these. So for instance, tin 4 nitrate, that means that that is a +4. Nitrate is NO3 and it's a -1. So this is going to be NO3 4. All right, so it's really SN NO3 4. Number 5 is using the same thing. Tin, I know that kind of dotted up, that's an N. Number 6 is aluminum sulfate. So aluminum is a +3, sulfate is a -2. So when I crisscross these charges, remember, you don't have to write these charges down. I'm just doing it to show you. It's going to be Al2SO4 3. On number 7, rubidium sulfide. Rubidium, you look on the periodic table, is a +1, sulfide is a -2. Okay, that's really dotted up. Let me see if I can write it right here. Okay, when I crisscross these, it ends up being Rb2S. Because you will need to do that for when you do that mole to mole step. You'll need that. All right, number 7, sucrose. I went ahead and gave you that equation right there. On number 9, nickel 1, it's got that Roman numeral 1. That means it's a +1. Phosphate. Phosphate is PO4, and that is a -3. Now this comes off a special sheet. So that's Ni3PO4. And then the last one is strontium chloride. Strontium is a +2. Chlorine is a -1, so it is SrCl2. Okay, so those are just, you're going to need these. Now this is a participation grade, so try your best. Once you send it to me, then I'll make any corrections or tell you if there's anything, or if you're really just struggling, just let me know. All right, so that's it. Let me know if you need anything. Have a great rest of your day. Bye.